All right, third graders, we are going to be reading from our Hardy Boys book today, chapter 3 of The Missing Mitt. The other day we read chapters 1 and 2. Okay, so I have the book in front of me, and you can follow along if you would like to on the screen. Otherwise, you can just listen. Chapter 3 is called Practice Makes Problems. All right, bandits, said Coach Quinn. This is going to be the hardest game we've ever played. The Jupiters haven't lost a game this season. Coach Quinn was tall with long red hair. She was the best coach the Bayport Bandits had ever had. She wanted them to win. But more than that, she wanted them to play well and have fun. She called out their names and made sure everyone was there. Then she divided them up into pairs to start practicing. Jason, you're with Joe. Frank, you're with Speedy. Now go warm up. Sissy Speedy Zermano was the team's pitcher. She was short with dark hair and dark skin. She was known for her fastballs. In fact, everything about her was fast. She walked fast. She talked fast. She said it was because she was from New York City. All right, yelled Speedy. Let's do it, Frank. Come on. What do you think our chances are against the Jupiters? Have you seen them play before? I hear they're all really tall. I forgot to turn the page for you. Sorry about that. They say Connor Hound is like 6 feet and he's only in the 4th grade. Speedy talked so fast there wasn't even a chance for Frank to answer her, but he didn't mind. He liked Speedy. Most of the time, even when he could get a word in, he didn't say anything because he was too shy. Frank was usually shy around girls. Joe was always the loud one. Joe, Frank, Speedy, and Jason all went over to one end of the field. They practiced sliding into the bases, pitching, catching, running, and swinging. They did everything they could think of to get ready. Right before throwing one of her special fastballs, Speedy paused. Jason, she said, did you bring your lucky mitt? We can't play the Jupiters without it. Jason's lucky mitt was the one his father, Willie, had won during the final game of the last World Series he'd played in. It was Jason's good luck charm. The whole team touched it before every game. It's in my bag, Jason said when Speedy finally stopped to breathe. I'm saving it for the game. Phew, said Speedy. I was worried that... Look! The boys all turned in the direction Speedy was pointing. A big silver school bus was pulling up to the baseball field. Painted on one side was a giant planet. Frank knew it was Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system. It was also the namesake of the Bandits' biggest rivals, the Johnston Jupiters. The two undefeated teams would be playing each other for the first time all season. The bus came to its stop near the bleachers. Out came the Jupiters one by one. Speedy was right. They were big. Maybe not 6 feet tall, but big. And the biggest of all was Connor Hound, the Jupiters' first baseman. Coach Quinn blew her whistle again. All the bandits lined up to meet the Jupiters. They shook hands and promised to play fair. The bandits went back to practicing. The Jupiters put their extra gear in a pile on the other end of the field. Gosh, guys, they sure are big, Speedy said. She looked even smaller compared to the Jupiters. You know what they say, said Jason. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Then he laughed. He didn't seem worried at all. Okay, get back to practicing. This game will win itself, Coach Quinn shouted. The team leaped to attention and went back to practicing. Finally, it was almost time for the game to start. Coach Quinn pulled out a large cooler from the back of her truck. What flavor do you think it is? Wondered Speedy. I hope it's watermelon because that's my favorite. It's orange, said Frank. How do you know? Asked Speedy. It could be watermelon. Frank shook his head. Frank's never wrong about these things, said Joe. They waited in line. When they got to the front, Coach Quinn handed them each a cup of orange-flavored water. How did you know? Asked Speedy, stamping her foot. Easy, said Frank. I saw a stain from the orange powder on Coach Quinn's uniform. She must have spilled some on herself while mixing it. Frank always paid attention to the small details. You never knew when they might tell you something important. His father had taught him that. Mr. Hardy was a detective, and he always told Frank and Joe to keep a sharp eye out. A clue could be anywhere. The brothers had already solved one mystery, and they were on the lookout for another. All of a sudden, a shout came from the other side of the field. Ah! Frank jumped, spilling the contents of his cup everywhere. He turned around. Jason was standing by the pile of the bandits' gear, screaming. I wonder why he is screaming. And unfortunately, that is the end of chapter 3. So we will not be able to find out yet why. So you can do some predicting and think about why in the world he would be doing that. All right, go back to Google Classroom. And I think you have some questions now to do about this chapter. See you later.